You have my coast. Oh boy, it's an Elvish Mystic. He's got the acceleration. Gerard Fabiano watching on. Collins will play a Temple of Plenty. Let's take a look at that top card. That'll become the bottom card. Back to Stewart's way. He's got to win 2 games and do it in about 27 minutes. There's a Plains. Here is a Death Mist Raptor. You have to imagine these games do draw out a little bit. Master of the Unseens in these decks, and Death Mist Raptor, Den Protectors, Dromoka's Commands.
I'm sure it has the possibility of being on the slower side. And again, game 1 took a while here. But compared to builds with Whisperwood Elemental, it's got to be a little bit faster than that. Whisperwood is a recipe in both decks for the game to really slow down. Instead, these players have Surrak, the Hunt Caller, which, if anything, just speeds it up.
Yep. 2 mana available here for Collins. So not a much going on. There's another copy of Death Mist Raptor. In for 3. Collins will have to take 3. There's a Flooded Strand. And pass that turn back. Mullen will draw. Temple of Plenty is what he's found. Not a lot going on over there.
Hand with a lot of blue cards in it, and I don't believe any blue mana.
Yeah. There's at least 1 negate. Here's a Forest. It's a Morph. A little outclassed on this board. Pass the turn back. Stewart will untap and draw. Yahamai Coast. The other cards at hand are Elvish Mystic and Den Protector. Raptors coming in. Gonna sacrifice a Flooded Strand. Island or Plains on the way. And I have a feeling we might see a Morph creature here. Maybe Morph plus Mystic in the same turn.
Feels like Surrak's got to be one of the big swing cards in this matchup because neither player is really contesting the board very much. Just curve out with your creatures. And in that kind of game, Surrak is very, very powerful. I don't believe either player has access to it right now, and even if Colin does have it, he would be able to fulfill the requirement next turn. But if Perry finds it's going to be spectacular.
A little surprised by the no Den Protector this turn. Suppose doesn't want to get killed by Dromoka's Command.
The thing is, with Perry having not very much going on in his hand, Den Protector seems valuable to me, just possibly to unmorph, just to have an unblockable creature.
Sure. There's a Temple of Plenty. Take a look at the top card here. Roll Collins. That'll become the bottom card.
It might be one of those things where by keeping it face down, Colin is forced to generate blockers anyway, and Perry can still just wait until the moment's right.
Death Mist Raptors here. Over to Stewart. Take a draw. Dragon Lord Ojutai.
And that's pretty much perfect.
Yep.
You know, all Perry's trying to do now is finish out the game here with his early pressure.
Death Mist Raptors will trade. 3 damage will come across. Mullen will go down to 8. The follow-up is Dragon Lord Ojutai. See if he wants to play the Yahamai Coast or not. Looks like he will. And he'll pass the turn back. Mullen will untap, facing down the powerful dragon. Looks like Courser of Krufix was to draw a Case of Ice in hand.
Attention players, if you signed up for the Modern Challenge.
Yeah, just no blue mana, tight on lands, behind on the board. It's going to be hard for Colin to wiggle his way out of this.
Challenge players, please report to the Sidemans station.
Colin will untap and draw. It's a copy of a Case of Ice for him. Both players have that card after sideboard. Here comes Dragon Lord Ojutai. Death Mist Raptor 2. Gonna unmorph. Den Protector, which brings back Death Mist Raptor. And now we could actually see Dromoka's Command too.
Yeah, this sets up to be a pretty reasonable turn here for Colin.
You can actually get Dragon Lord Ojutai off the table. That's not so bad. Yep. There's Valor's Stance. That'll work out just fine as well. So there goes the Dragon Lord. And we'll see a block. So there's no trade. Again, Perry still does have Den Protector in hand. So this doesn't end up being too bad. This combination of cards, as you can see, is just incredibly powerful because he's able to play Den Protector face down, unmegamorph it, get back both Deathness Raptors, and return Dragonlord Ochitai. It's like really nothing's happened.
It makes these mid-range games much less about slowly grinding someone down because you can generate these small advantages and have it all undone very quickly.
Yep.
And it makes damage racing a little bit more attractive because that's a way to take, you know, some of the sting out of your opponent's Den Protectors is just kill them before they're able to deploy everything that they have left over.
Yeah. It's really something. And there's a Flooded Strand.
And because of both the Delve spells and Den Protector, I think if there was some innocuous graveyard hate in the format, it would start showing up. Maybe, you know, Tormod's Crypt is too extreme because all these cards kind of do things on their own, but how about a card like Withered Wretch right now?
That's
Because it would show up in a bunch of decks, I feel like.
How good do you want that card to be? It's debatable. You know, I don't know if you want it to be as powerful as a card like Scavenging Ooze,
Yeah.
but I can certainly see what you're saying. I think that Ooze, given the printing of Deathness Raptor and Den Protector, I think if Ooze were a card that were legal,
All over the place.
it would be everywhere. It would be all in these decks, 2 or 3 copies. Looks like Elvish Mystic the draw. You saw Den Protector run Morph, bring back both those Deathmiss Raptors and Dragonlord Ochitai in hand.
That all of our on-demand side events are still open.
So Collins still in a difficult spot here. Perry's still doing pretty well.
Well, you know, Perry is starting to run out of steam a little bit here. It's harder and harder for him to muster these attacks. And if Collins got another copy of Den Protector down, you know, that yields a Deathmiss Raptor, that gets back a Valorous Stance, which checks the Dragonlord Ochitai Perry just got back. I mean, Collins got a lot more cards in hand.
Yep. Here come the Megamorph creatures. Mullen's going to go down to 7, sacrifice a Flooded Strand. Likely to be an island here, given the lack of blue mana. There is an island.
And as predicted, the Den Protector.
Yep. So 2/3/2 Den Protectors out there. Deathmiss Raptor 2. What an unbelievable card. So good. It's been so good all weekend. I don't know if a Den Protector deck is going to win the tournament, but getting to watch this card in action and seeing how many people have it in their deck, I think what's happened now is people have actually gotten to play enough games with it at the local tournaments, Magic Online, what have you, to realize that this card is the real deal. There's Encase and Ice on the Death Touch creature. And Perry says, feel free.
Yeah, and Collins has got to block as much as possible.
Yep. So 1 Deathmiss Raptor will come through, Den Protector, and Deathmiss Raptor will bite the dust. So Perry working away at that board. However, for him, no untapped land to be able to play Dragonlord Ochitai, so just a 3rd copy of Elvish Mystic and a passing of the turn back over to Mullen. Mullen will untap those 5 lands. Doesn't get to untap that Deathmiss Raptor, however, thanks to Encase and Ice. Draw a copy of Windswept Heath.
Now Dramoka's Command starts doing some real work too, as Collins can make the Encase the Ice get sacrificed here. He has the option of encasing the Deathmiss Raptor that Perry has.
There's Courser. Top card, you have Mycos, not so bad. Trigger, gain a life.
Gets to land off the top and a 2nd blue mana, and his hand's kind of glutted with blue cards right now.
Top card of his deck now is Dramoka's Command. Can he come all the way back here?
I think he's got the tools.
I think so too.
You know, Perry is down to just really the Dragonlord Ochitai in hand, which Colin has an answer for. And Colin's got a huge resource advantage otherwise.
Yeah. Pretty good cards in hand right now. Negate, Encase and Ice, Dramoka's Command in hand on top of the deck as well. And Valorous Stance that he returned with Den Protector. Surak, the draw. Doesn't play a huge role in things right now.
I mean, if Perry feels like what he has to do is just alpha strike and try to push through the last couple of points, Sorok's a fine play this turn. He knows about the Valorous stance, but if the Valorous stance gets used, then there's some hope that Dragon Lord Ojutai might be able to finish off the game.
Yeah.
The problem is, you know, I understand that if you're on Perry's side of the table, you feel like it's not likely that Sorok's good here, but you got to try to do something because your opponent has a clear resource advantage over you at this point. The longer the game goes, the worse this is going to get.
There's in case, nice. So it looks like it was a go to the attack step.
Yep.
In case will resolve. That means that's tapped. There we go. Courser's going to probably hold the fort against those Elvish Mystics, and I think we'll see Dragon Lord Ojutai. Yep. Maybe. Looks like Perry just wants to decide how he wants to tap for it. All right, there's the flyer. Pain-free, the way to be. Jamoke command the draw, Master of the Unseen on top of the deck.
Another steady source of card advantage if Colin wants some life gain as well.
Yeah, we're such a... I guess we're probably not as far away from that as I think.
Yeah, I think we're fairly close. I mean, all really Colin has to fend off here is the Dragon Lord Ojutai and the Sorok, because he's got a Courser defending against the 3 Elvish Mystics. And past that, Perry's just living off the top of his deck.
Now, the one thing that Mullen doesn't know is what the card is in Stewart's hand, which is the Sorok. But outside of that, he's actually got things pretty well in order.
Yep. He's in a great spot right now, I feel like. 2 copies of Dramoka's command, which gives him a lot of flexibility. The command can be used to break up that Encase in Ice, or just use the Death Mist Raptor to fight something.
Like this. Fight that thing.
Player finish your turn and then proceed with up to 5 additional turns of the Swiss. 5 additional
Sorok the Hunt Caller has been
Again,
cast.
it is time in round 5.
I actually wouldn't make a move here if I'm Collins at all, because I want Perry to attack with everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't make a move at all.
Just let him attack.
Here he comes.
Yeah, I love Collins' patience here, because with Dramoka's command, Valorous stance, and just a reasonable life total, he's going to swallow up everything good that Perry has. He gets to take care of both the legendary creatures. Courser easily blocks one of the Elvish Mystics. 2 points of damage comes across, and Collins got still stuff left over in his hand to work with, and Master of the Unseen coming off the top of his deck. Great position to be in.
And I don't think he will have to sacrifice his Windswept Heath in any of this. He might have to.
Well, I don't think he has to do anything beyond cast Dramoka's command right now. I don't think he needs to cast the second one, because he can say, I'll put a counter on my Courser, I'll have my Raptor fight your Sorok, I'll block one of your Elvish Mystics. He doesn't have to do anything with that Encase the Ice if he doesn't want to.
Sure.
And that's exactly the play he's going to make.
Yep. Now he gets to eat one of these Elvish Mystics. Mastery might be the most attractive draw in this situation. Yep. Take 2. Use life total as a resource. Go down to 4. No direct damage to worry about, obviously.
And now he's got Courser plus Mastery, which gives him a lot of manipulation over whether or not he's actually getting some creatures. And he's got Death Mist Raptors in the graveyard, so those are going to be coming back. You know, if Mastery is finding any creature at all, it doesn't even have to be a Den Protector. Collins did a very good job of navigating this game. He's still got Negate in his hand.
Yeah, in case there's something you're worried about.
And Dramoka's command, this is a great spot.
Negate on top of the deck.
And that I would almost want to shuffle away.
Yeah, me too. There's Mastery. Looks like he might just be passing the turn back. I think on that instance, I would want to shuffle the Negate away with the Windswept Teeth, because he could just hit a land.
Sure.
And put that into play off a Courser. It's a morph.
I mean, that's such a big draw here for Perry.
It's a very timely draw of Den Protector. There's a land.
Well, it's not necessarily Den Protector. It still could be a Raptor, because right now Perry just needs to get other Raptors back.
Absolutely.
He would face down a Raptor if he had it, but in either case, that's a huge draw for Perry.
Here's a Manifest. He's going to manifest his Negate. See the top card of the deck here. Courser of Crufix. We'll see how skilled Mullen is at actually managing the combination of Mastery and Courser. Because you can really maximize this if you know how to do it.
And right now, in his side of his draw step, or in his upkeep rather, he could just use Mastery to put the Courser face down. Draws a fresh card. He has 3 mana left over to unmorph the Courser Crucifix, gain some life, get the Raptors back.
Attention Magic players, Hurly-Burly Altars will be packing up.
Mullen taking a look at the graveyard, seeing how many Deathmist Raptors are down there. What do I have to worry about? What can you rebuy if that is a Den Protector? Good choices. Dragon Ojtai, Surak down there.
The problem is that Collins cannot be completely sure that he's not going to need all of his mana available next turn because he has Negate and Dromoka's Command in hand. Both cards you could definitely see coming up. So on the surface of it, it seems very easy to say, okay, well, I'll put the Courser down. But Collins can't be sure that he won't need both cards next turn, depending on what Perry's morph is and how combat goes.
He's going to face it to manifest since the information is easy to see. Thanks to the Courser being in play. Elvis Mystic the draw, Elvis Mystic on top of the deck.
And Collins really just wants mana at this point.
Yeah. Looks like just a passing of the turn with the ability to unmorph or cast Dromoka's Command or cast Negate. This is going to be Den Protector. So Megamorph counter there. Deathmist Raptor there. And it's hard to say no to a Dragon Ojtai. I don't think Perry is. He's going to take it. Yep. He's going to sacrifice a Flooded Strand. Search up the land. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is we're about 10 minutes left to go in this match. Perry Stewart has 2 draws, and his pace of play has not been very fast.
No, it is not.
So you can probably imagine why he's got those 2 draws, and a draw here is a disaster for both players.
Yeah, if X3 and 1 is good, then Collins has to cross his fingers and hope. Perry's record of 10, 2, and 3 in that scenario, that's the same record as X and 4 in terms of match points, and he's done.
So he's really got to start picking up the pace here if he's going to try to win this match because he's already down a game. Dragon Ojtai in hand. Picked up a copy of Master of the Unseen. Pretty nice negate target to be sure.
Well, that is true, though if Perry makes a big push in combat here, it's possible Collins feels compelled to morph the Courser Crucifix to get back his Raptors and gain some life, and that may allow him the window to get Mastery into play. Now, it looks like Perry's just attacking with the Deathmist Raptor, which to some degree allows Collins off the hook, because he can just trade his Courser right now with that Raptor. He feels like it and not have to put down the shield on Negate. Collins also has a copy of Dromoka's Command in hand, so he has some degree of containment for Master of the Unseen, but he also needs to use that most likely to fight Dromoka somewhere down the line.
Gonna sacrifice the Windswept Heath. Take the same life total thanks to the Courser being in play. I think we'll see the Courser get unmorphed here in just a moment. Maybe working ourselves into a Master of the Unseen game now. Haven't seen one of those in a little while. Potentially.
Well, Collins is the one right now with Dromoka's Command, so he's got an edge of the game that goes down that sort of road.
Yep, unmorph, gain some life. Come on back, little raptor. Some nice, real nice synergies in this deck, I must say.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very synergistic.
Yeah. Deathmist Raptor blocks Deathmist Raptor. No damage dealt. Mullen will go up to 8. There's Master of the Unseen. And we could have Dragon Ojtai join as well. And we will. Top card of the deck is a Courser. We'll see if Mullen wants to do what he did last turn, which was in the upkeep, activate Master of the Unseen for the Courser.
Collins would really just like an 8th land at this point for a couple of reasons. 2 Master of the Unseen activations, and the fact that he's sitting on Negate plus Dromoka's Command. So that, you know, an extra 4 more mana is really valuable for him.
We'll take the opportunity to manifest there. We'll see the top card of the deck. Gets a Flooded Strand. That is helpful. That'll be the draw for the turn. The next card is Dromoka's Command. There's a land. Trigger the coursers. Up to 10. And Collins might be able to, oddly enough, get enough of a board going. You might be able to just run out the clock here. Not sure if that's the goal. I mean, obviously, you'd like to deal the other 13 points of damage, but things are starting to get really grindy here.
Yep. And again, he's the one in the advantaged position right now. He's the one with mastery. He has the ability to destroy Perry's mastery. Really, only Dragon Lord Ojutai is throwing a wrench into things.
And I think he's even got ways to kill that, depending on how the Dromoka's command lines up. And he's going to cast this right now. It looks like he's going to use this to get Mastery of the Unseen off the table. And to kill Den Protector. Yep, so he's going to clear 2 things away. So is Dromoka's command on top of the deck, too. Now, this does mean that he will take a shot from Dragon Lord Ojutai. I suppose he's okay with that occurring.
Well, he can, I mean, the problem with that from Perry's side is Collins is cracking back for quite a bit now.
Yep. Death Miss Raptor the draw. In for 5. Here's the trigger from the Dragon Lord. Stewart will get to look at 3. Dromoka's command, Dragon Lord Ojutai, and a Temple of Plenty. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be Dromoka's command. Seems like the best of those 3 cards. The others will go to the bottom of the hand now with Death Miss Raptor and Dromoka's command. That's a morph. And pass the turn back over to Mullen. Dromoka's command will be the draw. Let's see the next card. Plains.
More mana, more life gain. Collins will definitely take it.
Yeah, I have to imagine that he's fine with that. Looks like he's going to unmorph Courser first. We'll gain some life here. Bring back Death Miss Raptor 2. Gain a healthy amount of life. Plains, trigger 3 times. Just undoing the work the Dragon Lord did last turn and then some.
And on the card advantage front, too, you know, Collins can keep up with an anticipated turn from the other side of the table, that's for sure.
Pretty easily.
Yep.
Now Dragon Lord Ojutai will be the top card of the deck, so he can manifest that or he can draw it and just hard cast it. A couple options there. And that can block the other Dragon Lord Ojutai is on the side of the table. Mullen is really starting to gum this game up. This is not a place Perry Stewart wants to be.
I mean, forget about gumming this game up. I think Collins is getting ready to attack.
Yeah.
He's got a board that can start swinging in. He's got a pretty big cushion of light gain. If he wanted to make a push here this turn, I guess there's no real harm in being a bit passive about it, but he could definitely make a push.
Dromoka's command. You can do a bunch of different stuff with it. I don't think any of it's going to matter. I think this is negatable. I think there's just too much going on with that card not to negate it. The untap and the draw here for Stewart is we're all tied up 13-13. Fleece main line. One of the poorer times to draw that card.
That is time in the Swiss. Finish your current turn. Take up to 5 additional turns to complete your tournament.
Here comes Dragon Lord Ojutai. There's Dromoka's command.
Modern players, pairings for round 6 are going up on green paper.
We have a little fight action now.
Please find your seats.
Does not want that Dragon Lord Ojutai to connect.
So the max greed play here is put a counter on my Corsair and fight. That's really rough against anything. The safer play is pump something and use Death Miss Raptor to fight.
I like the second play.
And it's kind of a freebie for Collins to fight through the Death Miss Raptor because he's got this manifest morph engine going. Ooh.
He went with the first one.
Max greed.
Yeah, max greed indeed. All right.
I love it.
Here's Fleece Maid. There's the activation of Monstrosity. But a 4/4 indestructible with Hexproof right now on this board doesn't really matter all that
Means
much.
very little, especially now with Collins drawing a flyer.
Yep.
That's been the thing. Collins has not found flyers yet, so he's been locking up the ground and sort of using removal spells and trying to navigate through the flying creatures. But now the air is uncontested. He's drawing Dragon Lord Ojutai, and that's a really good position to be in.
Encase of Ice on top of the deck now. There is Dragon Lord Ojutai. As you mentioned, this is a great place to be. I'll pass the turn back over to Stewart. Stewart going to draw a card. Jaroka's Command. Not bad.
The problem is there's nothing really to fight. I mean, Collins is going to probably attack with Dragon Lord Ojutai next turn, and that's pretty solid. And Collins has a lot of extraneous enchantments right now. So the sacrifice and enchantment clause, well, he's got a Courser laying around that he can pretty easily sacrifice.
So long as Collins does remember his triggers here from Courser, he's going to be up to 15. This Flood of Strand is actually going to gain him life. He'll lose 1, go down to 12, and then 3 Coursers in play will push him up to 15. So we see Flood of Strand actually doing some nice work here.
And it's becoming harder and harder to imagine Perry being able to win the game in time. I think he's falling behind big time in the resource battle anyway. Collins, I think, is likely to win this game. If it were to go to a natural conclusion, he still may even win in time. But I don't see how Perry's going to be able to do it. If his only way to get Mastery of the Scene off the table is through Jaroka's Command, then that's just not going to happen.
Complete your match, and you may begin. Good luck.
Fleet's main line on top of the deck. Manic Influence. Here we go. Command time. Put a counter on Fleet's main. Have Deathless Raptor fight Dragon Lord Ojutai, it seems. By the way, Dragon Lord Ojutai is not long for this particular world. But just some more gumming up the works. There's an Elvish Mystic, and now we've got activations of Master of the Unseen coming. A forest, the draw here for Stewart.
I mean, Perry there actually has drawn a shocking number of spells in a row. I mean, look, he's still got 5 lands in play. This game's going on for a pretty long time. But even drawing a lot of action, as Perry has, is no match for Master of the Unseen at this stage of the game.
Oh, the top card revealed, Valor Stance. Turn 1. Temple of Plenty. Come on in. Up to 21. Unfortunately for Collins, in what is a pretty grindy matchup, this mid-range matchup, he's got the Master of the Unseen going. He's at 21 life. And most importantly, he's up a game right now.
And you know, he missed land drops early on. I mean, he definitely stumbled, and Perry had some early Death Mist Raptors, but once the ground started getting gummed up, it was just too hard for Perry to get the last couple points through.
Death Mist Raptor is going to unmegamorph, which will bring 2 more Raptors with it. Over 2 turns left here for Perry Stewart in this match. And dealing 21 would be rather impressive, though I think it's going to take even more than that.
Oh, yeah. Collins has got chump blockers for days and life gain for days and Raptors he can loop. And, I mean, he's got it all.
He'll manifest a Raptor. We'll see the top card of his deck from Courser here in just a second. He's also going to unmorph. See him counting everything up. I think he's going to gain around 9 there. Windswept Heath on top of the deck. It's all just a matter of time as Colin Mullins is going to play out this last couple of turns of this match. And he'll be playing our elimination rounds.
And as you mentioned, you know, up a game already, no incentive for Collins to do anything but play defense. I think it would not take very long for Collins to flip this and actually take Perry out of the game if he wanted to, especially now with Debt Protector Icardi has access to, but there's no impetus for him to rush at all.
Yeah, you know, this isn't green-white devotion like we saw at Grand Prix Miami when Dan Cicchetti won. Corey Baumeister got second place, and Sam Black and Michael Majors, and everyone remembers that fiasco. But it kind of feels the same.
Yeah.
Once we get to this point, there is no Nykthos, and nothing completely absurd is going on like Grand Prix Miami, but there's no way to get through on the ground. It's not going to happen. And eventually, with the setup that Collins has right now, he would be able to get through.
Yep.
It'll take some work and some attacks, and Death's Raptor and Fleece Mainline, all that jazz, and then Protector do a lot of work, and maybe a Dragonlord Ochitai would make things a little bit easier. But I think eventually things would end as this is turn at number 5. Collins is happy to pass the turn. The players will shrug shoulders, and there would be an extension of the hand. Colin Mullins is going to win this game and match 1-0. Don't oftentimes say that. He's 12-3 with his Bant mid-range deck. That means we'll see him this evening in elimination rounds.
Yeah, not the most popular Den Protector Death Mist Raptor deck we've had by a long shot this weekend, but a copy here in the top 8 in the hands of Collins, Mullen, and just a little bit short on the hands of Chris Anderson as well.